9,
Sequence initiated.
7, 6, 5,
Downloading.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All phases complete.
You're listening to The Loan Signing Hustle with Brett Reitler, where I dive into marketing, branding, tips, and the resources you need to becoming a successful loan signing agent. Take back control over your life and live in the freedom that you deserve. This is a hustle you won't want to miss. This is episode 3, loan signing hardware and having a mobile office. Before I dive into this podcast, please click the subscribe button so you can get notified when I have new episodes, and there's also a link to donate and a place where you can buy me a coffee, so I have enough time and energy to keep producing these podcasts for my fellow loan signing agents out there. Before today's episode, I want to start with a quote of the day. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Sadi. I'm going to say that again. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. This quote says so much in so little time. We never have enough patience in the world we live in today. We want everything instantaneously, and what I've learned in this business and industry is that things are not instantly gratified. It takes time to build your business, and it isn't an easy business to build out of nowhere. So, have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. Without further ado, let's jump into this episode on loan signing hardware and having a mobile office. There are certain things you will need no matter what as a loan signing agent, and I'm going to be going over them in this episode. Now, the number one thing at the very, very, very top of your list should be a laser printer. You cannot be a successful notary loan signing agent without this item. Why a laser printer? I'm gonna honestly just keep it simple, and these are reasons that align specifically to this business. The first one is speed. You do not want to be in a rush or getting a closing last minute and having to wait 25 minutes for 300 pages to print because you're printing two documents or two document copies, and an inkjet printer is not going to print as quickly. So speed is number one. The second one is going to be that it is long-term cost effective. Now, if this is something you are serious about and wanting to be profitable in your business, laser printers are the most cost effective, and I will break that down on why and how later. And overall, it has less maintenance in comparison to an inkjet. Color or monochrome, you may ask. All you need to be successful is a monochrome laser printer. You don't need color. You might work with a title office that requires color, but I highly doubt that. Now, why not an inkjet? Inkjet printers are ideal and cost effective, you guys, if you're not using it for high print volume as you are with documents. Inkjet printers produce high quality prints for like photos, and in a general sense cannot print documents anywhere near as fast as a laser printer. So an inkjet printer is honestly just out of the question. You don't even want to touch it. You don't even want to search for it. Don't waste your time. Invest in a laser printer. They are a little more expensive than an inkjet, but they are more cost efficient and effective when you have it all set up, and you'll spend way less money and save so much time having a laser printer. The printer that I have, and I've had since the beginning of starting this business, is a Brother MFC L5800DW. It costed me about $420 brand new, but this printer has everything you need in one. It has your scanner, it has duplex printing capabilities, it has wireless networking on it. And why you want a duplex printer and one that has a scanner in it as well is because you are going to have to scan back documents after closings that might happen after FedEx drop-off time. So you won't be able to drop the documents to get shipped off to escrow by next day. So they'll request scan backs, and you're going to want to just have it all in one. So I really recommend getting a printer that has both the scanner, but you're also going to need one that has duplex printing, which means it can simultaneously print both legal and letter documents at the same time. Now, if you get a laser printer that doesn't have that feature, it's only going to create a lot of problems and a lot of hardship. I couldn't even imagine having a printer that didn't simultaneously print both legal and letter, or there wasn't a place to put both legal and letter in the printer at the same time. You need both because the documents you get 99.9% of the time will be mixed. So the PDF you'll get for 120 pages from the signing service or escrow is going to have legal and letter documents mixed in it, and you will need a printer to simultaneously print those documents. So when you're picking out your printer, make sure it's a laser one. Make sure it has duplex printing and a scanner in it as well. Mine prints about 42 pages per minute, which saves me so much time. It's very efficient. If I'm on the go and need to print documents, I'm not waiting 15-20 minutes for documents to print. It prints them out so quickly. Now, my Brother printer takes TN850 for toner. Toner is what you're going to need to buy in order to have, I guess, your ink. So just like inkjet printers, you buy ink for it. For laser printers, you buy toner. And the cartridge that I use yields about 8,000 pages before it's empty. So in the lifespan of my toner, it lasts about 8,000 printed pages. If you're not doing a closing with a direct client, you're most likely doing one with a signing service, which is requiring you to print 2 sets of documents, which are going to average in the range of about 250 pages to 300 that you will need to print. Now, I'm going to kind of get a little analytical with you guys to break down kind of what it costs to print for each signing. I have worked in accounting and I love analyzing numbers and I love seeing the profits in this business. So I'm going to break down for you how much each closing will cost you to print on the laser printer that you are going to have. So, the price point for this toner that I buy is $110. I spent $110 for this Brother toner TN850 that yields about 8,000 pages. If you divide 250 pages per closing to 8,000, which is what the cartridge yields, you get 32. So you can conduct around 32 signings with one toner cartridge. Now we're going to divide those 32 signings by $110 because the $110 is how much that the toner costs. So it's producing 32 signings. We're going to divide that by 110, and this comes out to be around $3.44 per closing that it costs you in toner. That is amazing. So cheap, because if you try to print out 300 pages at FedEx or Kinko's or anywhere that allows you to print both legal and letter documents, it's going to cost you about maybe $20, $15 to $20 per 300 pages that you need. So $3.44 per closing that it's costing you in toner. Amazing. Crazy how cheap it really is. Now, your toner is not going to be the only cost that's associated with printing for each closing. The next cost is going to be paper. So I buy paper by the case, you guys. It is so much cheaper to do that. If you're buying letter paper by each separate ream, which is 500 sheets, you're just going to spend so much money because you'll find them for about $8 for each 500 sheets, when you could buy a case of 10 reams of letter paper, which is 5,000 sheets, for about 31 bucks. So let's jump into what each closing costs you in paper. So we're going to divide 5,000 because that's how much the case is of paper. There's 5,000 sheets in it. Now we're going to divide that by 250 because that's the average amount of pages in a closing that you're printing for. So you're printing about 250 pages for each closing. You divide that and you'll get 20. So I know out of 10 reams of paper or one case of letter paper, I'll get about 20 signings out of it. So with those 20 signings, we're going to divide that by the cost of how much the case costs. So 31 bucks. So when you divide 20 by 31 bucks, that comes out to $1.55 you're spending in paper. So what it costs you to print for each closing is about $4.99, which is amazing. So when I first got into this business, I was like, well, when you're working for signing services, how much are you spending? How much are you paying for each closing? It's got to be super expensive because FedEx is charging me $15 to $20 per closing and I'm only making 80 bucks. Ideally, when you get more experience, you should be making about 90 to 100, but 80 bucks is pretty good for a signing service paying you out per closing. So $75 is your profit if you got paid $80 on one closing. Now, these closings are only taking you 45 minutes to an hour, so 75 bucks per hour, honestly, is pretty golden if you ask me. So you have to do it right with a laser printer. If you buy an inkjet, you won't, it's not even an option. So no inkjets, only laser printers. Now, the next piece of hardware I'm going to talk about is a portable scanner. Why even have a portable scanner if you have one already in your printer? Now, for me, I use my portable scanner for specific clients. So I have 2 title companies that I work with locally that require me to scan at the table in order for funding conditions to be met on specific closings. So that is why I am even mentioning a portable scanner, because some of you might be like, well, why would you recommend me to have a portable scanner and a scanner on my printer? So that's the reason why a portable scanner is getting brought up now. The one that I have is an Epson Workforce ES 580W. It's a wireless color duplex desktop document scanner for PC and Mac, and it has a 100 sheet auto document feeder, and it can scan up to 35 pages per minute. Now, that's not extremely quick, but it's quick enough when you don't want to spend $2,000 for a portable scanner that's, scanning your whole package in 2 minutes. This device costs $400. It is a little spendy, but I specifically bought it because when I brought these 2 new clients on in my business months and months ago, they required a portable scanner. So $400 when they're paying me thousands every month was a good investment. So you kind of just have to feel out when having a portable scanner would suit you and your business best, but that is why I have one, and that's why I use it. Now, some people like to just buy a cheaper laser printer without the scanner built into it, and they like to have a separate portable scanner. I will say I now use this portable scanner just to scan all my documents, and I don't even touch my brother printer scanner because it's so much quicker, and it simultaneously feeds letter and legal documents to where I can't figure that out on my brother printer. I think it simultaneously feeds letter and legal, but I haven't figured it out. So it's just easier for me to scan on my Epson Workforce because it scans them both and pretty quick too. Now, when you're using a scanner, sometimes the file sizes are too big to send over email. So here's a little tip and trick when you are using a scanner to get the file size smaller. There is a setting under your scanning settings that is called DPI. Usually your settings are at 300 DPI, which is really good quality. It goes even higher than that, but it also makes your documents larger. So sometimes, even when I'm in the local escrow office and scanning in docs to another office, I have to bring the DPI down to 200 DPI so the document size is not so big. So if you guys are ever running into the issue of, it is scanning too large and I'm having too large of a file, how do I figure out to lower the file size without having to go into my computer settings and stuff like that? You turn down the DPI. So whether you're in office or working on your own scanner, set the setting to 200 DPI, and I've never had an issue with it being too large to send through email or to another escrow office. So that's when I use my portable scanner the most. Now, sometimes you will have a closing from a local office after hours, so you won't be closing in office, and you might be at the borrower's home, and you might miss drop off for FedEx that night. That is where I will scan in the documents to the escrow officer, because even if they don't ask for it, because one, documents aren't going to get shipped out tomorrow, which means they'll get them the day after. But two, they will love you so much because then if they have scans in from the night before, they're going to go into the office the next day and be able to work on the file, send it over to the lender, so they can get the ball rolling, and they don't have as much to do when they receive the files in person the following day. So when you're working directly with offices, I always make my clients happy and my escrow officers happy by scanning in docs no matter what, just so they have them immediately, and it makes their life so much easier, and it will earn you more business, I promise. Now, we've kind of gone over the two major things you need and broken down costs of what it costs to do each signing from most likely a signing service. Because when you're working with title companies, they'll print out the documents for you and you'll most likely be doing the closings at one of their offices. So that's mainly everything you need to get started as a loan signing agent, with your signing services and offices. You will need those things from time to time. The next thing I want to jump into is a complete mobile office setup. Now, I do have a complete mobile office setup. I have everything I need to have one running, but honestly, I've never utilized it. I feel like a mobile office is huge if you're doing a lot of your business with signing services and they're calling you left and right last minute when you're at certain closings. Hey, can you go to this closing right after this appointment? We need you to print docs, and you're 45 minutes away, but you have a mobile office. So in those situations, absolutely have one, but I personally have never really had to use one. So I'm still going to break it down for you. The first thing you need to have a complete mobile office setup is a laptop. I work with Windows because I have had issues with Mac and getting them to print automatically legal and letter documents within a closing file, that I just won't even mess with it because it stressed me out, and Apple has always given me issues. Now, mind you, I love Apple. I have my iPhone 13 Pro. I have my new Mac. I have my iPad I'm looking at right now. I love Apple. But for loan signing agent business, it has not been the most user friendly. So I've stuck with Windows. I have a Microsoft Windows Surface Pro, whatever it is. I love it. So you'll need a laptop. You will need hotspot access from your phone, car, or tablet. Now, a lot of service providers nowadays allow you to have hotspot access from your phone, so you could just turn it on and turn your phone pretty much into a Wi-Fi router. Now, why you're going to need this is because when you get that closing in the middle of your other closing or 45 minutes away from home, you're gonna have to be able to connect to the internet, most likely from your laptop, to download the documents in order to print them out of your car from your mobile office. There's no way you're gonna get those docs, if you don't have internet access and you have to attach your printer to your laptop. The next thing you'll need is your printer. So we've already gone over what printers work best. A laser printer, have scanning capabilities tied into it, and you'll also need paper and extra toner supplies. You do not want to be in the middle of having to do multiple closings in one day and on the road, and you finally get your docs sent over to you and you ran out of paper or you ran out of toner when you don't even have time because you'll be late to your next appointment. So making sure you have extra supplies in your mobile office is crucial. You will need a battery. Not just any battery, almost like, those batteries you see in your car? You'll need one of those in order to power up your laser printer. They cannot be plugged into your outlet in your car. If you do so, you'll most likely mess up your car, and you do not want those issues. So you need a battery. The one that I bought, it's off of Amazon. It is called a Wise 12 volt 75 amp deep cycle battery. It is huge. It weighs, I think, like 40 or 50 pounds. Very heavy. That is the next thing that you'll need. You will need a battery charger when that battery drains. So every so often you will have to bring it inside and charge it overnight, just so you know you're ready to go for the next day of business and for your next closings. There was one that I bought off of Amazon. It's called Noco Genius 1 amp fully automatic smart charger. It does 6 volts and 12 volt battery packs, and it's a smart charger, so it knows when to stop charging your battery. Super awesome. I did love that. The last thing you will need is a converter. So the converter allows you to plug in your printer to the converter so it can get power. So you'll hook your big old battery, your 12 volt 75 amp deep cycle battery, into the converter, and then your converter will then be able to supply power to your printer. It's a process, you guys. The converter I got is an Energizer 1500 watt power inverter for 12 volts to 110 volts. Now, what's really cool about this setup, you guys, is if you go camping or if you're in the middle of nowhere and you need power, this converter allows you to plug in TVs, things like that, gaming systems. It's really amazing. So if you ever need to utilize it outside of your business, it's awesome because you totally can. But those are the things that you need for a complete mobile office: a laptop, hotspot access, your laser printer, extra supplies, paper and toner. You'll need the battery, your battery charger, and a converter. Now, I grabbed a piece of wood to secure all of these down. I grabbed a big old slab of wood, about, I think, half an inch. I put these Velcro pads under my printer and then stuck it to the wood piece and put brackets up against it so it didn't move. And then I got some ties and tied that piece of wood down to brackets that are in my car. So that is my complete mobile office setup. Those are the things you will need to, successfully run a setup out of your car. I honestly have never had to use it. I'm honestly probably just gonna keep those things locked away for a rainy day if I really need to use them. But if you're doing a lot of work with signing services and you've built a great rapport with them and they love using you last minute, having a mobile office it'll create leaps and bounds in your business, and you will be very successful with it, because a lot of people don't know how to sign up or set up a mobile office. It's kind of tricky. You need to be kind of handy, and you don't want to shock yourself when connecting the battery to the converter, or inverter. Anyways, I hope this information helped you guys. And this is the end of episode 3. Thank you guys for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to be updated on newly released podcasts. If you have a question or you would like to be on an episode with me, send an email to info@signaturesusa.com. Until next time, this is the Loan Signing Hustle.